4 World Cups, 4 squads, 4 rounds of heartbreak for players who should have been there and weren't. From Brazil in 2014 to North America in 2026, England managers have made some of the most brutal, controversial and jaw-dropping selection decisions in international football. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most shocking England World Cup omissions across the last 4 tournaments. Some of these were predictable, some were baffling, and some of them still sting to this day. Let's count them down.
The number 10. Ashley Cole.
Kicking off our list at number 10, Ashley Cole, left out of the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Now, the timing was brutal. Cole had won 107 England caps. He was the best left-back his country had produced in a generation. Arguably, one of the best in the world for most of his career. But Roy Hodgson chose 18-year-old Luke Shaw ahead of him, and Cole responded by retiring from international football entirely. He never added to that 107 cap tally. When you are left out and replaced by a teenager, the message is clear. For Cole, it was the end of a magnificent career in the most unceremonious way possible.
The number 9.
At the number 9, Ross Barkley, left out of Gareth Southgate's 2018 World Cup squad in Russia. Now, Barkley had just been through a difficult season, but he was still a dynamic, progressive midfielder with the kind of technical quality England desperately lacked in the middle of the park. Southgate made the call to leave him behind, and England went on to reach the semi-finals without him. Barkley watched from home as Jordan Henderson, Eric Dyer and Jesse Lingard got their big moments. For Barkley, that Russian summer was a missed window he'd never quite get back.
Oh my god, guys, already the number 8.
Oluwa Fikayo Oluwa Damilola Tomori.
Left out of England's 2022 World Cup squad in Qatar, and honestly, this one has never made sense. The AC Milan centre-back had established himself as one of Serie A's finest defenders over 2 seasons. Rapid, assured, excellent on the ball. He was exactly the kind of modern, progressive centre-back Southgate claimed to want. Yet he was repeatedly ignored, while players like Conor Cody, who started less than half the time, made the plane to Qatar. Tomori watched from Italy as England exited in the quarter-finals. A persistent, baffling snub.
And welcome to the number 7.
Ivan Toney, omitted from the 2022 World Cup squad by Gareth Southgate. Brentford's powerhouse striker had been in outstanding form, direct, physical, a goal threat from everywhere. Exactly the kind of alternative forward profile England needed behind Harry Kane. Southgate chose not to take him. Instead, England went with a more limited set of options up front and struggled to find a creative spark when their attack went flat in Qatar. Ironically, Toney was then recalled for the 2026 World Cup under Tuchel after more strong seasons. But missing Qatar, that's a chapter he can never rewrite.
Guys, the number 6.
This one was seen coming, but it didn't make it hurt less. Sancho had been one of the most exciting English talents of his generation at Borussia Dortmund, with goals, assists and tricks that left defenders in the dirt. But his move to Manchester United collapsed spectacularly, and his form at Old Trafford was nowhere near the level Southgate needed. The most depressing thing about it wasn't the decision itself. It was watching a supremely gifted player's career unravel at the exact moment the biggest stage came calling. A tragic waste of talent.
Guys, look, the number 5 is incredible.
Joe Hart, left out of the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Hart had won 75 England caps. He had been the undisputed first-choice goalkeeper for the previous three major tournaments: Euro 2012, the 2014 World Cup, and Euro 2016. He was England's most experienced keeper by a mile, but a disastrous spell on loan at West Ham, conceding 39 goals in just 19 Premier League games, cost him everything. Gareth Southgate moved on, picking the young Jordan Pickford instead. Hart's career never recovered. BBC Sports chief football writer Phil McNulty said at the time that his England career was surely over. He was right. 75 caps, and it ended without a farewell. Brutal.
Pay attention to this number. Number 4 is incredible.
At number 4, Jack Wilshere, the heartbreaking omission from England's 2018 World Cup squad. If you want to talk about what might have been, start here. Wilshere was, at his absolute best, the finest English midfielder of his generation. Intelligent, technically exceptional, capable of opening up any defense in the world. He'd had a decent season at Arsenal, 33 appearances, 2 goals, 5 assists, but his entire career had been defined by injuries, and Southgate simply couldn't trust him to stay fit through a grueling tournament. Southgate reportedly called Wilshere personally to break the news after being unconvinced by his fitness in training. England went to Russia and won 4 games. We'll never know what Wilshere might have contributed, a career defined by its tragedy.
Guys, the number 3 is crazy. Welcome.
And we start with Trent Alexander-Arnold, left out of England's 2026 World Cup squad by Thomas Tuchel. Now, Trent's exclusion didn't come out of nowhere. His last England cap had been over a year before the announcement, in a win over Andorra back in June of last year. The positional dilemma, is he a right back or a midfielder at international level, was never resolved, and Tuchel simply moved on, selecting Reece James in his place. But step back and think about what this actually means. Trent Alexander-Arnold, a Real Madrid player, arguably one of the most gifted footballers England has ever produced. A man who revolutionized the right-back position for a generation, missing a World Cup, not through injury, not through age, just left out. Sky Sports called this squad one of the most shocking since 1998. Trent's omission is a huge part of why.
The number 2. Is it possible? Look.
Number 2, Phil Foden, left out of England's 2026 World Cup. Just let that sentence land for a moment. 2 years ago, this was the best player in the Premier League. Pep Guardiola's chosen one, the young lad from Stockport, who had won everything there was to win at club level. He started every single game on England's run to the Euro 2024 final. He seemed untouchable, but the 2025-26 season at Manchester City was a disaster. Foden was pushed to the fringes under Guardiola, rarely starting, and was a non-playing substitute in the FA Cup final. His form dipped, his confidence seemed shaky, and Tuchel made the ruthless call to leave him out entirely. At only 25 years old, the door is not permanently shut, but missing this World Cup at what should be the prime of his career is a wound that will take time to heal. Tuchel is gambling. England don't need him. That is an enormous risk.
The number 1 is the one. Ha!
And our number 1, the most shocking England World Cup omission across the last 4 tournaments, is Cole Palmer, left out of England's 2026 World Cup squad by Thomas Tuchel. Here's the context. Less than 12 months before this squad announcement, Cole Palmer was player of the match in the Conference League final, then player of the match in the Club World Cup final. He scored in the Euro 2024 final against Spain. He was the young player of the year in England. He felt genuinely like the player who was going to define a generation of English football. And then a groin injury, a dip in form, a difficult season, no goals in his last 14 games for club and country. And Tuchel left him out. The competition in the attacking midfield positions, Bellingham, Saka, Madueke, Rashford, is fierce, but Cole Palmer at 23, missing a World Cup. That is the number one shock of the last 4 tournaments. No debate. Drop your picks in the comments. Which omission hurts the most? And don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell for all our World Cup coverage. We'll see you in the next one.